All right, all right, all right. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can't everybody hear me out here in these streets? What's the word, everybody? What's the word, everybody? Mr. Al Pete, aka Wayne Peterson, president of the Northeast Florida NABJ. Thank you so much for tuning in. To my people that's tuning in live, we greatly, greatly appreciate you. My apologies for starting late, but hopefully you have not finished your lunch yet because we have a great conversation coming up right now. But I want to start off real quick, holding space and say Happy New Year to all my people. Happy 2026. Hopefully your holidays and your New Year was good. You rested and enjoyed with your family, and now you're back in the mix of things and getting back in order with work. So thank you so much. Some announcements. Please make sure that if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please make sure you send us a request so you can be a friend, so you can stay updated on everything that's going on. Make sure that you go sign up for the newsletter because we get the newsletter out every other week. We would like to get that going every week, but for the meantime, we get it out every other week. So, yep. And then after that, we have a meeting coming up in 2 weeks. That information will be in the newsletter as well. And we have another gathering that we're working on, which will be in February. So, to all my communications and to my media people in the space at Northeast Florida, that means Duval County, St. John's Clay. Please make sure you reach out to us so you can become a member and get active with the community. All right. So, without further ado, I am not going to hold this man's time any much longer. I am going to frankly say that I had some small technical difficulties in the. Well, this is before we had to push things back, but I'm like, I felt like I should have my stuff together, being the fact that what we're about to talk about, he's a pro at it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure
We chilling.
I'm sure he could forgive me for the lack of. But we're here, and I'm grateful that I reached out to him, um, so we can have a conversation about the work that he does because I think it's very important to the space that we hold when it comes to the communications and media world, to be able to be a director, and a TV specialist. I think when people think of communications, they think of journalism, which is great. Journalism, they might think of marketing, but there is a production side as well that makes sure that the information is being illustrated correctly for entertainment and information purposes. So, without further ado, Torien Pippens, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm great, man. Just grateful and blessed, man, to be alive, to be here, to do what I love. I do not take it for granted. Thank you
Good,
for the
man.
opportunity.
Good, man. Listen, I'm the same way, man. I hold a lot of gratitude with a lot of the things that I do, and I'm like, before we get started, I'd be like, I'm thankful, I'm thankful, I'm thankful, and to be able to show up and show out is another feat. So, greatly appreciate you being flexible and taking the time to be with us.
Glad to be here, man.
Yes, sir. So, well, let's just start off. Give us a brief history. Well, I'll tell my people first, but I would like for you to give a brief introduction of yourself, like where you from, where you come from, um, the background and stuff like that, and then we'll get in depth with it. So, for me, I'm heavy on threads, and threads for some reason, like I don't. Well, I think I was just scrolling, not on the section where I'm following people, but I'm scrolling the part where it just kind of open, like an open dialogue where you see random people, and so I came across your video, and I thought it was really really cool for you to be documenting like actually what you actually do because I feel like that's important for people to see. So when I saw the video and I just seen how you were like working the screens or whatnot. I'm assuming there's a big screen in front of you, and you're kind of directing people on the camera shots. Like basically, go to two, go to three, go to four, whatever. So I saw that on the video, and I was like, oh man, like this is very cool. So I did my research, which ended up with me reaching out to you because I feel like this would be great for people to know that part.
Right, right. So, just the basics before I even get into that. Torien Pippens from Birmingham, Alabama. Actually grew up in Hueytown, Alabama. Have a lovely wife, and we together have 3 kids. How my career pretty much started was at church.
Okay.
Just curious one day in my mom's living room, my mom's bedroom, watching TV, just curious on how do the camera shots go from this camera shot to that. So the only place I knew to go was to my church. So in church, ended up going up to the TV ministry room and just asking them and asking how to get involved. Long story short, got involved with it at church. That was my junior year. My senior year, when I graduated, I was already going to Auburn University. Was going on a partial architect scholarship. Ended up going there and getting involved with school news station and sports production and all that thing. So this idea or this thought or this random question of how they do something led to a whole another atmosphere. So that's pretty much the basics of how we
Got
got here.
gotcha. And what was the major at Auburn, if you don't mind me asking?
So I majored in visual journalism.
Okay, visual journal.
I ended up changing it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So could you talk about some of the lessons that you got when you said it was a whole nother thing when you got to Auburn and you started, learning from that part. On top of having the church experiences, whatever, what were some of those like lessons that you learned doing that work?
So when I got to Auburn, I was hungry for more. So I ended up finding the campus news station, which is a student operated news station. Of course, we had advisors and leadership who were older, but the news station aspect taught me how to tell a story. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you tell that? So the name of the news station was Eagle Eye. At Auburn University, it's Eagle Eye TV. So got involved with them. They taught me how to shoot a news story, how to shoot B-roll, what nat or natural sound was, how to put a news package together. Was good at that. Eventually ended up helping others on how to shoot, how to put a news story together and things of that nature. So that taught me the foundational principles of how to tell a story. Also at Auburn, I got involved with which was called OCM, but it stands for the Office of Communications and Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
This was the entity that was responsible for Auburn commercials that you'll see on TV. Excuse me. All the creative personal stories of different people and different programs or the different departments across campus. So this office would shoot those heartfelt stories and things of that nature. So being involved with OCM helped me how to shoot or think creatively. Then I got involved with the sports. And the sports side was how to shoot sports, how to document sports, how to TD, how to direct. So all three of these things coming together while I was at Auburn was phenomenal.
Gotcha, gotcha. So you're at Auburn, right? And then the SEC network it launches or whatnot. So and you're a part of that wave. So talk about that a little bit for me.
Yeah, so before 2014, the sports production at Auburn was called AUHD. So basically, Auburn University, high definition. I guess nobody really told us what it what it meant. But
You made your own
in
up. You
2000,
made your own up.
yeah, to make all little something up.
Right.
But Auburn was a part of that inaugural season in 2014 with ESPN to produce games for ESPN out of the student control room. So basically, ESPN put together a lot of these, put money into a lot of these SEC schools, and the SEC partnered with ESPN to put these rooms together so that ESPN can send personnel to the rooms, and then the students help with the production.
Mm.
So I was on the front end of that. By this time, I'm already learning how to shoot, or already have learned how to shoot sports because of what we were doing up to that point. From 2012 to 2014 was kind of my window of learning how to shoot sports. But when you add in the SEC network, that aspect helped me in the way that how to shoot broadcast style or for broadcast. So you're listening to the announcers, you anticipating storylines, you framing for graphics, you doing your camera assignments. Camera assignments are a little different, when it's a linear show versus a video board show. So you just learn all these things during that time from 2014 to 16 Even with the directing, how to direct for broadcast, how to TD for broadcast. So a lot of these things happen with that lunch in that
Mm.
partnership from ESPN. So that was huge.
Indeed, indeed. So we're talking about like sports, specifically basketball, because I mean that's what you mainly do, right? The basketball, or is it any type of sport?
Yeah, so I do a lot of the Olympic sports. So you got your soccer, basketball, softball, baseball, things of that nature.
Okay.
I have done football in the past, but mainly I do basketball right now.
So when we talking about, I'm thinking about fast pace. You know what I'm saying? Basketball is like this. You know, football, and this is from my thinking from a lens of a visual journalist, right, or a TV director. Football would be moving a little bit slower than basketball, correct?
Yep.
So you got to be up on it. Like you got to make sure that you're paying attention completely to the game, as well as making sure other people are paying attention to the game. And when they hit it, you got to hit it, and you got to tell a story in the midst of all of that. Like I
Right.
think the shot that I saw, it was like the last minute shot. It was like the buzzer winner or whatnot. So you had to go from like the excitement of the one team winning and then get this I mean, like, the disappointment of the other team, and you had to like go on the shot, like all of that stuff. So all of these lessons that you had definitely positioned you for those things.
Right. So, like, just going back to the basics of how to shoot news. News is, has a beginning, middle, and an end. So, what you're referring to is, I believe, one guy, it was a buzzer beater situation, and during those buzzer beater situations, I already have camera assignments written out that I
Mm,
give to my camera operators. Which I have. I'm normally been doing 5 camera shows right now, but each camera has a specific assignment for that situation. Once that situation happens, those cameras go to those responsibilities, and it makes the coverage easier at that point. In the real time, for me, it's just about, okay, what shot to take at what time or at what moment. Just putting up the pieces of the puzzle together. So everything is pretty much laid out in my camera meeting, so that when those times come, it's not stressful. Also, I keep it neutral. I might get excited, like, oh, you made the shot. But as far as cheering for the team, no, we just keep it neutral.
I was gonna ask you that, but I was gonna wait till later to ask you that in regards to that. Um, but still, I still find it fascinating that not fascinating. But I know for me, I think about that all the time when I'm on the production side of things. I'm thinking like, especially when it comes to switching cameras. I'm like, you got to be. It's not just switching the cameras. Like you really have to like pay attention, because some of these things are like last minute things that happen, and you got to make sure that you on key with it. And it just helps when you know it, when you have the knowledge of it, and you following what's going on and whatnot, because I think that's just great storytelling when you have that what is it called, like something just comes up at the last minute where you have to kind of pivot or whatever, or adjust to the situation. So you definitely have to pay attention like completely for that.
Yeah, and with me, like when I'm directing, I have a technical director that executes the actual button pushing, if you want to say, of the show. So I'm eyes on my multi view in front of me. I'm looking at different things. I'm listening. If the producer say, "Hey, we want to show this replay after when we come out of this timeout," or things of that nature. I'm listening to that. So I'm listening and looking kind of simultaneously. Just all these things. It's like organized chaos for me. I'm just taking all this stuff and just making it in a nice little package for the
I
viewer at home.
Yeah, I love it, man. I commend people for doing that, and yeah, it just keeps the momentum going. So, all right, so you spent this is where I've written down. You spent over 5 years traveling the country covering live sports for ESPN and other major networks. So, what's the reward from that, and what was the challenging for that? I kind of got an idea of what the challenge would be, but I'm gonna let you answer that.
For me, the challenge was at the time being away from my kids with the traveling.
Yep.
In this industry, you hear a lot of people say The work is the travel because the delayed flights, the cancel flights, rental car situation, hotels, and all this stuff. The logistics part can feel like the work, but when you actually get there, the work is not the work. The work is just fun. We like to do it. We love what we do.
Mm-hmm.
The reward I would say is my work ethic and skill set to get me to this point didn't go unnoticed. Meaning how I put work in as a camera operator and things I've done as a camera operator set me up for those that were in hiring power to notice,
Mm-hmm.
who gave me a chance to be a director for ESPN because it's rare to go straight from a camera operator to a director at ESPN. So, just blessed and favored that I was able to be in the position to, even receive that, that offer or that phone call, I should say, because I did apply for a director position at first and didn't get it, but I kept, my name on good ground. I was just thankful for the opportunity to even interview, and they came back and called me and said, "Hey, go apply for this position right now." So,
Wow. That definitely a reward. And speaking of rewards, did research Tiger Woods in 2022, correct?
yep.
How was that? Like how was that? Because I want to say Tiger Woods was he coming back then or
No, yep. First, that was his first tournament back
yeah?
after that accident.
Okay.
So basically, at this time, I was working with the Golf Channel as a camera operator, and a lot of people don't. Well, some people don't know that the week before the Masters is something called ANWA. It's ANWA. It's the women's Masters, which is the week before. So the Golf Channel was producing it, and I was on camera for it. And the Masters was that next week, so they needed some camera operators to go help out with the CBS show. So I was one of the guys they asked to come help. It was my first time. I was excited, so I said, yeah, I can do it. And the director, he at first he just wanted to see how I could shoot and things of that nature because he never worked with me before. So once I got out there and showed him I could follow a golf ball with a camera and stuff like that, he was like, okay, cool, you good. So now I was on 14 fairway. So basically, after Tiger teed off, he'll walk up to his ball in the fairway. That's where I would be to get reversed. So basically behind him for his second shot to the green. So
Mm-hmm.
just the atmosphere, man. All these people just following, Tiger. Just even little details, have security walking along the rope line because you got to have security. Just how crazy it was out there, and just how being behind him. I don't get starstruck easily. I didn't follow LeBron James and stuff like that, but Tiger was like a little different. Like all these people, you just feel it. I guess because it was just his first time back, so people actually seeing him in person. But the moment was surreal, man. Just enjoyed it and just thankful to be in that position, man.
Indeed, indeed. Do you have a dream list of anybody else you would like to follow, cover?
As far as camera work, nah, I'm kind of out of the camera realm now. But as far as directing and working with certain people, yeah, I got a short list of.
Of you showing people how to hold the camera. Like I thought that was cool to know too, because I'd be looking at some camera shots and I'd be like, you watching something online and it's almost like the people can't even hold the camera still. I'm just like, I'm like you showing us what the the topic or whatever is, and I need you to hold that camera like correctly. But it was cool for you to illustrate like how to actually hold the camera, which I think with not even think I know that illustrates and that translates over to like all the work that you do from a director standpoint.
Yeah, so I love to coach and teach, um, especially camera operation.
Yeah.
When it comes to the broadcast side of things, man, I love it. I've done it, so I know exactly what it takes. The little small detail things, I like to hit on those because a little small detail can change how your perspective on something. So I really hone in on those type, of details and things of that nature. But man, right now with me directing for ESPN and doing my other things on the side, I love to mentor. I use my social media platforms to put out different opportunities for people. They'll DM me and say, "Hey, I want to take you up on this offer. I want to do this. What I need to do." It's just things that make it could be something as simple as me sending them my my guide on how to get started in sports production, or hey, just here's some tips on how to do this or that, or things of that nature. So I use those videos when I go to these different control rooms to put on my social media to say, hey, it might be somebody else that's following me that they're a camera operator. Like, oh man, I seen that, and I started doing that. Like, I get those messages all the time. Like, man, thank you for that video. That helped me on this. So the mentorship, the coaching, the teaching, that's kind of parallel right now with my directing and stuff. That the things I'm doing on the side, I love it. Uh, it's just fun to me, man. I love just teaching it.
Indeed, indeed. So, which brings me to when you said the teaching, right? So, do you have a specific type of like philosophy, like when it comes to telling the story? I mean, I know you mentioned paying attention to the details. Little details can change the trajectory of the whole story. But do you have any type of philosophies or rule of thumbs that you live by that you would like to share with us? Sometimes, I mean, you might not want to share because it might be a trick of the trade, but
No, I ain't holding nothing, man. I ain't holding nothing. But as far as when I'm directing, man, I definitely go by the acronym DIE, which is a little weird. DIE. Document, inform, and entertain. That's if I can do those three things for the viewer, I've done my job. You know what I mean? Along with telling that story, beginning, middle, and end. So that's how I look at it.
I
So
love it,
that's
man.
how I approach it.
That's how you approach it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's good that you saying that you approach it like the storytelling part that you spoke about earlier in this interview. I think that's really dope because I don't know. I just I be wanting more people to be in that space. Not saying that everybody is not in that space, but I feel like you can just tell when somebody is like really focused on like narrating a story and really wanting the viewers to be excited. So um
I give you an example. I give you an example real quick.
okay, yeah, yeah.
With the storytelling, I'm gonna use basketball for example.
Okay.
Say a player gets injured, later in the game. Say like the second half of a men's college basketball game. So for me, as a director, of course we go document the person that got injured, what the injury was, of course if they go back to the locker room, okay, that's understandable. But as far as storytelling, okay, how was the team performing with this player? Just like the beginning for me, as far as the
Mhm.
story timeline. The middle is, okay, how are they doing now? That this player is out. You know what I mean? Are they better? Are they worse? You know, and the end is, okay, did this team win? Did they lose? What's the ending? What was the cause? I mean, what was the actual injury? Just letting the viewers know. Make sure we zip up that story on what the injury was with the player, because we don't want to assume anything. And then how did that team finally, perform at the end? So it's kind of, all that stuff going through my head live. So that's
That's
how I look at it.
that's good, man. That's good. That's good. It's refreshing to hear, man. I'm not, and I guess transparency moment. I'm not around a lot of people that have that mindset, honestly. So it's like when I hear stuff like that, because I be thinking these things. So, and I act on that. I be thinking about the beginning, the middle, the end. Like even what you saying, like how did this person that got injured, how did it affect the team? You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's important to see. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me as a sports fan, like we watching sports, right? And then our favorite person or a person on the team, a valuable person on the team, like gets injured, and we don't think
Mm-hmm.
about the fact of like, okay, how are they going to go forward with this? So, I mean, prime example. I'll give an example on my man. I'm shout out to Jacksonville, obviously, with Northeast Florida, but Jacksonville Jaguars, go Jaguars. We lost Travis Hunter, a real good pick that we had at the couple games within the season. And like we was like, okay, he was supposed to be that, that player. But going forward, we have everybody else that either they played regularly or they stepped up. We don't know. But I feel like you would be in that position to like exhibit that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and just you never know with that situation. I'm gonna speak on that real quick because what if Travis was still in and he would, try to force passes to him or whatever, or you just never know. Maybe it just was meant to have, but look where y'all
Fair,
at now.
fair, fair. Fair enough. So okay, but no, it was good to hear that, man. It's like I said, it's refreshing to hear that somebody thinks like that, like because I'm thinking about that when it comes to storytelling as well. So, or maybe people are just in the midst of just wanting to shoot because maybe it's a job to do or whatever. But I think it's really dope that that you do that. So real quick before we get into like two more questions, I'm gonna see if this video plays. It's a video that I clipped from I didn't clip it, but it's from Threads and it shows you going through the
Okay.
process.
All
So let me
right.
see if I can pull this up. Hopefully this will work. What is it showing? What is it showing? What is it showing? All right, did it show? All right, it ain't
Nah, I
showing.
can't see it.
Don't
It,
worry
it,
about it.
it was showing you.
Yeah, whatever. Don't worry about it. We back on. We back on. We good. I was
Okay.
gonna show this video, but I'll put it in I'll put it in post after whatever. But yeah, it was just a video of you directing it. And I was like, this guy is
What?
looking really cool. It was the Virginia Tech and South Carolina game.
Okay. 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 Was it when he didn't take the shot at the end?
Yeah.
Well, so basically, with that video, Michi Johnson, who is one of South Carolina's main guy, main offensive threat. It was like 20 seconds left on in the game, and I think it was a half or game, one of them. So he gets the ball. Virginia Tech's not pressing them, so he just kind of glides up the court. He runs like 18 seconds off the clock, and then try to go make a move to the lane. Instead of shooting the ball, he passes it. Like,
Hmm.
you're the guy, you're there to take those shots. So me as a director, I'm set up the cameras. Okay, hey, 4, you got the backside clock. 8, you got the backside clock. 1, you game. 2, whatever. 8, after this shot, give me Michi because I'm just knowing he about to take the shot, and he didn't
Hmm.
even take the shot. Everybody's looking like, that's
Well,
when
I
I had
mean,
to cut fan reaction. Like, we all thinking the same thing. Like, why he didn't take that shot? So
mm.
that's what I want to show on TV at this point. So, man, it was crazy.
Which is cool because like you were showing the reaction. Well, in the video from Threads, it showed your reaction as well as like the fans and everybody else. So I think it just added to that story. Like it just like I don't know. I mean, if one person was thinking it by themselves, they could see that and be like, "Oh no, everybody is thinking the same thing."
Yeah,
Like,
we all thinking the same thing.
yeah, yeah. So, and how hard is that anyway? Like, I guess being biased or whatnot. Because I mean, I know. I mean, I'm sure you have a love for watching the game for sure. So you have to not be so biased when you're doing it. Correct?
Well, Auburn University, Auburn is my team.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing anybody else, I'm neutral. Well, I'm neutral with Auburn too. Let's just state the fact I'm neutral with Auburn. But if it's not them, I'm just here to make sure the viewer has a great experience.
Understood. Understood. All right. So, you already kind of gave your philosophy, which I will apply that to students and professionals that is looking to get into this business. But is there anything else that you would like to encourage people that want to get into this particular business? Like any encouraging words that they would like to that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, man. For you talking about as far as like broadcast or just kind of in production or just in
Um,
general?
in general, but specifically in this, and I'll say
Okay.
this. So, um, I have a good little bit of students that are in sports management, and that are in the production side of it. So for one, I'm gonna make sure when they get back in school, they start school on the 12th, but I'm gonna make sure
Okay.
they watching this because
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely show them like some videos of you doing this just so they can understand like and you mentioned it earlier in the interview like the hard work and the diligence here, you know what I'm saying, and being mindful of the details. Like I really want these students to understand like you got to be tapped in. Like there's no shortcuts in this. Like you need to know the foundations as well as being able to utilize the resources that or the tools that we have now. So yeah, in general, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, man. For students and young professionals interested, I say like the broadcast, production, sports media, whatever it might be. The skills and habits they should start developing now. This is what I feel like as far as students and professionals who want to work in the industry. First, you got to learn the fundamentals of production. Understand how a show actually comes together. Camera operation, audio, whether it's lighting, editing, directing, all that stuff. You don't have to master everything, but you should know how each role kind of impacts the final product. You know. Second, I say develop strong communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcasting is a team sport as well, whether you're on the headset in the control room or coordinating, shoots or whatever, being clear, calm, and concise under pressure is critical. Third, I say build a habit of preparation. Watch games like a producer, or not just like a fan. Study camera angles. Why they take this camera? Why he's showing this? This camera angle. Graphics timing. Looking at when they show how the graphics correlate with the camera shot, things of that nature. How the replays kind of all make sense with the storyline with what the announcers are talking about. Preparation separates the amateurs from the professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So building that preparation habit will be real good. Fourth, I say get comfortable with live environments, especially if you want to be in the live side of things. Live production teaches urgency, problem solving, and accountability. So
Mm-hmm.
volunteer at the church, intern at the news station, or help with school events. Look, if it's a production crew in your town that's doing little league football, ask can you help out with them. It's always somewhere you can start.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I say just be coachable and dependable. Show up early, stay late if you need to. Ask questions, take feedback well. In this industry, your reputation travels faster than your resume
Mm-hmm.
every time. And some people now they have good, they name on good ground. Some other folks they name on bad ground. It's all about how you do things, right? Lastly, I say just stay curious and adaptable. Technology is always changing in media, so the people that always laugh are the people that's willing to learn. The new technology that's coming out, adjust quickly, and they actually grow with the industry. So, for example, right now ESPN is doing a lot of Remy games. So basically, Remy is just remote integration. So what's going on is the producers, the director, the replay, all the graphics on them are mainly in Bristol or North Carolina or Florida, depending on what show it is, Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And only thing that's on site is the truck with the camera operators, and the audio team. And then you got the operations producer and safety and all those people. But the main people, they hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. So that's how quick technology, evolves. So that'll be my
Mm-hmm.
my little bit for them.
You gave a lot of good tips, a lot of great tips. Communication skills. You mentioned graphics. It was one video that you did that emphasized the graphic aspect of it in a way that it was like five. Well, it was more than that, I believe, but it was like multiple graphics that you called. It was like the display. I think you might have said like the splash or something like that. But that video was great to see too. I was like, man, you own it. Um, and another video that you did too, you was talking about you was in front of the podium and you was saying like, when you
Oh
move from
yeah,
the
yeah.
podium, yeah, like that was it was really cool that you was walking that through. So I really want to show these students this. I'm gonna definitely probably would show this to them in probably like my mass media class, my intro to mass media, just so they can get an
Okay.
idea of it. So I wanted to see that, but you gave some great tips. Everything that you mentioned was great, great, great tips. Especially, I'm big on the communication skills, like um, making sure that you networking and making sure that you can make opportunities for yourself. And these days, like there's always somewhere that you can go and volunteer to get the knowledge. But at the same time, too, you definitely want to be dependable. You want to be dependable and just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that your time management is on point.
Right.
Everything that you mentioned is very, very, very key. And I hope that everybody's watching this um, live or the post play. Hopefully that you receive this information, these tips, and you can you know implement them into
I
your journeys.
I tell you, not situation, but one thing that helped me was when I graduated from Auburn. One of the directors that used to come down to Auburn to direct the games. He took me on the road with him to
Hmm.
do football. Um, One of the camera operators that was already with him was my mentor named Oz, a guy named Oz Coleman, older gentleman, funny, everything, good at what he do, but he's just one of the pioneers, one of the black guys that was in TV early and kind of, set the tone in a way for us to come behind him as camera operators. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
he was my mentor as soon as I stepped foot on Arkansas campus. That was the first football game I did with him. Ever since then to this day, he's still with me. You know what I mean? As far as like, hey, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. See, I was on the road with this guy, so he basically, like my accountability partner for real. But he also like my granddad slash uncle. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
go get on to me if I was doing anything bad, which I wasn't. But hey, make sure you down in the lobby on time. We leaving at this time to go to the stadium. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you 10 minutes early, or make sure you do this, make sure you that. Hey, in this time, don't zoom in too fast. Zoom in just a little bit, and wait till you cut off. You're like, look, I'm getting all this coaching for 5 years straight, just in my head. So I had somebody to teach me the game, teach me the politics, because the politics play into it too, which like any industry. So just to have somebody like that to just pour into me, and they see something, and for me to be where I'm at now, he played a big role in it.
Indeed, indeed, and people gonna be talking about you as well, man. The teaching and coaching that you doing. You usher. Listen, you ushering in a group of people that are gonna be generational type situations. So yeah, so you're gonna be that person that people speak on as well.
Man, I hope so, man. I just love, like I said, I love to do it. Ask me anything. I'm gonna let you know what I think or my opinion on it. So
Indeed, indeed. All right, last question. And again, to my people that's tuned in live, I greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. Uh, I should have said this earlier, but if you definitely have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. If we don't get into it today, I'll make sure that Torian gets it so he can answer, and just give feedback or whatnot. All right, so this series is called Pressing Prosperity. So, first off, what is your first thought when you hear pressing prosperity? And then the second thing is like, what does that look like for you in the stage of the career that you're in?
yeah, so when I hear present prosperity, I think about the God given influence being used for intention. So basically, press represents the platform and visibility God allows us to have, and prosperity represents the fruit that comes from obedience, good stewardship, and I say alignment with His purpose. So not just financially, but in impact and fulfillment. Um, for this stage of my career, right now, it's having steady, scalable, I guess, opportunities that allow me to lead, create, and influence at a higher level. Um, it's about expanding my reach, increasing the quality of projects that I work on, and being trusted to execute at a high standard. Financial growth matters, but so does creative fulfillment for me. Like you said, like legacy
Mm-hmm,
and position
mm-hmm.
myself for like long term success. So
Yep,
if I had to kind of just package that up, that's what I think.
man, that's great. That's great. That's great. That one part where what you said, the financial growth is important, but
Yeah,
the creative freedom is yeah.
yeah, creative fulfillment. Because my wife would tell you, man, like during the summertime, we don't have any games. I'd be at the house bored. Man, when I'm gonna go over here and set up 5 cameras and direct a funeral. Like hell, bro. Man, I have to do something, man.
Nah, I understand completely, man. I mean, I know for me, I'm always in admin role, so it just feels good sometimes to just like to be in the creative world that I love to be in, and sometimes I have to bring the creative world into my admin world. So I understand completely, man. I'm like I need to be able to create and be able to be creative and have the ability and the autonomy to do it. So I understand completely.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. All
Yep.
right. Well, thank you so much, good sir. We greatly appreciate you being on for Press and Prosperity. This would not be the last time that we talk. We'll definitely. I'm a fan of the work. Definitely following and
Thank you,
whatnot.
man.
So I need to. I think I need to follow you on Threads. I know I'm following you on IG, but I like seeing that type of energy, and it definitely it's inspiring to me. And I just want to make sure that the people down here that's in our chapter, and even the students that I'm about to get in front of for the next semester. Um, I teach communication, so I'm like, I want to make sure that these students see this because this is great,
Mm-hmm.
diligent work. So they're gonna see this interview as well as like your work. So I'm gonna make sure to send some fans your way, um, and we go from there. But thank you so much for taking the time to interview for Press and Prosperity. Please let the people know where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. First of all, just thank you for the opportunity. You can find me on Instagram at director underscore T Pip. That's TPIPP. You see all my videos, teacher videos, director videos. A lot of my stuff is right there, and it's connected to Threads, so it's the same handle. Also, if you need, ask me a question, anything like that, you can email me. It's Torien Torient Pippens Pippens @gmail.com. So
Indeed, indeed. Y'all make sure y'all follow. Make sure y'all follow. Any questions y'all got, please feel free to email him. Or if you email me or send it in the chat, I'll make sure that he get it. So hold tight, Torian. Let me close out.
right.
Torian Pippens, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed this interview. This is a great one. This is a great one. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. So but to my people in the chapter, please be on the lookout for chapter meeting information to come out soon, and we're going to be working on social events. So please make sure you're on the lookout for that. Please make sure you're following us on Instagram as well, NEFLNABJ. Go there. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, so we can you can see the live videos, the interviews and stuff like that. If you have any questions, or if you want to see me interview somebody that would be very fulfilling to the communication media space for African Americans, please feel free to let me know because we want to make sure that we are elevating our people that's in this space, man, because they do great work, and we want to keep that legacy going. So, be good, be great, enjoy the rest of your day. I will talk to y'all soon. Be great.